Families' Surnames on Racial Hit List by Peter Harden. This is a Times dispatch from the Washington Correspondent from March 5, 2000. All right. So long before the Indian woman gave birth to a baby boy, Virginia branded him with a race other than his own. The young Monacan Indian mother delivered her son at Lynchburg General Hospital in 1971. Proud of her Indian heritage, the woman was dismayed when hospital officials designated him as black on his birth certificate. All right, so her son was an Indian. She is an Indian.
All right, so let's go to the beginning of Lynchburg. In 1750, the location of the city of Lynchburg was a desolate riverbank in Virginia wilderness. In 1805, it boasted of 600 citizens. It had several stores and warehouses and ferry and a newspaper, and many comfortable homes across the James lived a friendly tribe of Monacan Indians, which we now know were even considered and looked at as black. All right, now let's check out the myth. The Senate Bill 219 to preserve racial integrity passed the House March 8, 1924, and it is now the law of the state. The bill aims at correcting the condition which only the more thoughtful people in Virginia know existence of. It is estimated that there's in the state 10 to 20,000 people more near white people who know to possess an intermixture of colored blood. These are some surnames by counties of mixed Negro Virginia families striving to pass as Indian or white. He said we were striving to pass. Here's Walter Pleckert, who worked inside the Board of Virginia National Eugenics Network that included several individual allies, organized white supremacist clubs, university-based eugenics, and national policy architects. Just to show some people complicit with him, you have John Powell, Richmond musician and co-founder of Anglo-Saxon Clubs, members of Anglo-Saxon Clubs of America, Virginia-based white supremacist organization, 1924, and Ely Trickle, governor of Virginia, who signed the Racial Integrity Act into law, March 20th. So they were all into this pseudoscience of eugenics. Furthermore, this attitude was backed by academics of the University of Virginia, Virginia General Assembly, and the Richmond Times Dispatch newspaper. So a lot of people were complicit with these lies. Here's a little bit of a Nazi connection. The Nazi racial offices in 1935, Pleckert wrote the Walter Gross, head of Nazi Germany's Bureau of Human Betterment and Eugenics, praising sterilization of mixed-race children in the Rhineland and requesting information highlighting intellectual exchange between Virginia eugenics and Nazi race planners. Now, here's a little evidence that with the Monacan tribal nation, you're getting back to indigenous people from Lynchburg, Virginia, and Bear Mountain, Amherst County. You're getting all the way back to 10,000 years of archaeology. Archaeology site the presence of humans in Virginia dating back to 10,000 years, confirmed by significant archaeology sites. The most prominent is the Cactus Hill archaeological site in Sussex County. Down on my point, Plecker strongly supported the sterilization law, but he had nothing to do with its passage. The Racial Integrity Act, however, was his to enforce. The Indians in Virginia, particularly the Monacans in Amherst County, were to become the losers. The zeal with which he enforced the Racial Integrity Act was such that the state only recognized two races, white and black. So here you see people are getting split into two categories, and a lot of this was indigenous Americans. I just wanted to show you guys this terms of mongralism. When you look it up, they show dogs, but it's just a simple admixture of a breed. Walter Pleckert was attacking the surnames and families in Amherst County of native Indians who had admixed into white and black. Pay attention, follow me. All right, guys, check out this receipt. Meet the fathers of African American history. So you guys don't know this. The anthropologists who created the fields of African American studies and African studies in today's universities and institutions, they were the teachers of W.B. Du Bois, Zora Neale Hurston, and many others. Not only does Black Americans out of Africa motherland concept come from the white eugenics Charles Darwin, but Black Americans' historical connection to the landmass presently known as Africa is based upon two Jews for the sole purpose of suppressing records of Black American origins and indigenous history in America with academic institutions created by white supremacy. So these Franz Barnes, the father of anthropology, these are the two people that conspired to make even the African American studies and out of Africa theory. And this is why it's sad to say the HBCUs, I'm not trying to blame them, but they are complicit with these lies against indigenous Americans. So here's the truth. Lynchburg, Virginia is full of black, so-called African American misclassified Indians from Amherst County that Walter Pleckard, a white supremacist and eugenicist, took up the effort to misclassify indigenous Americans. So what you guys need to do is go ahead and do your genealogy. We need more people with more information. And that way, if more of us are doing it at one time, we can know more and more information about each individual family. And for those of you that are skeptical, go ahead and do the work that would allow the skepticism to be false or true. Many people are mad that a lot of black people, so-called black people, are claiming to be the only people in America who aren't immigrants. Well, how about we all get together on this science, on this mathematics, and prove this point together? Okay, so that way we can restructure our land and restructure the misclassification of the American Negro. A threat to justice of any of us is a threat to justice of all of us. This is very, very important. Grace and peace.